Hello everybody, welcome back to another vlog. Today is Thursday, it's nearly the end of the week. In fact, for me it is the end of the week because I'm taking flexi day tomorrow, which is so needed because honestly this week has been pretty fucking awful. I have been in like one of the worst ME CFS flare-ups that I've been in for a long time. You know what, I'm still learning a lot about chronic fatigue syndrome and ME, and I don't have a diagnosis of ME. Just for transparency, whenever I have a fatigue flare, my endo symptoms also get much worse. I always have a lot more pain, and in general a lot of body pain. My joints ache, I've got a headache, like my skin hurts, my bones hurt, my whole body kind of feels like it's on fire. And then the last two flare-ups I've had, I've actually gotten ill. Like I've woken up with a sore throat, my glands are swollen, my lymph nodes are swollen. Oh guys, it was awful. I woke up on the Tuesday, like while I was out, I was kind of kept looking at Ben and being like, this is going to be bad tomorrow, this is going to be bad, I can feel it. And it was bad. I just felt so sorry for myself, and Ben, bless him, was just like waiting on me hand and foot. It's just, it's really difficult to explain, but it's kind of, I guess I can kind of compare it to how you feel when you're ill. Like if you're an abled person watching this and you can't really quite picture how it feels, it's like kind of like when you're ill or hungover and you just feel like in your body that you have at most half of the energy that you would normally have, which for me is already like my normal energy levels are already fairly limited. To then kind of half that is you're kind of really like on your knees. So I have actually been working today. I took yesterday off and I wasn't working on Tuesday either, so I've had 2 days off, which already felt quite difficult. I think when you are generally unwell, or like, you know, you wake up with pain every day. I obviously don't take sick days every day. I can't take a sick day every day because I have to work. I have to earn money to like be able to afford my life. But what that then means is that when you feel worse than normal, it's really difficult to gauge how bad it has to be in order for you to take time off, because I'm already working through pain. I'm already working through fatigue every day. So to figure out where that line is really difficult, and especially if you work from home. Sometimes it's easy just to sort of work through it and kind of take it easy, but actually that isn't deep rest. That's rest on a surface level in terms of I'm not up and about giving my 100% concentration to something, but it's not rest on a deeper level where like my nervous system is relaxing. I'm not even thinking about work. I'm doing things that put me in a state of complete deep rest and relaxation. And I find that is the thing that will help me recover the quickest. Today is a bit better. I do feel generally, in terms of the symptoms that I'm experiencing, I don't feel flu-y anymore. I don't feel unwell in that sense anymore, which is great. But my pain is quite bad and I feel just like exhausted. So I still need a lot of rest. And I'd already planned to take a flexi day tomorrow. So it's my weekend already, which is really great. I guess I'll bring you along with me, whatever I get up to, which won't be very much. I'm sorry it's not more exciting, but this is the slow, soft life. The slow, soft life isn't always the most exciting life, but it is, in my opinion, the best life. That's it, I guess. 29th of July. I haven't written in a little while, to be honest. I've just been too tired. I'm just too tired all the time. My limbs feel heavy. Everything has to be a conscious decision. Everything I do counts. How much longer can I keep saying to people it's been a busy few weeks when the fact is this whole life is too busy for me? I fluctuate between being worried that I'm too isolated, that my world is too small, that maybe I ought to try and broaden it, say yes to a few more things, but then when I do, the consequences are intolerable. I know that I'm not the first to wish that I did not have a body. I'm not the first to fantasize about floating out of my skin, weightless, pain-free. In Drive Your Plow, Over the Bones of the Dead, the author talks about unzipping your skin and the true essence of you stepping out and finally being free, shedding the weight of moving through a world that's not really made to keep you well. But then in Elena Knows, Claudia Pineiro writes, "Is it outrageous for me to want to live despite it all? I want this life desperately. Sometimes it does not seem to want me. But I will keep outrageously seeking joy, seeking pleasure, seeking connection and intimacy and rest, because what else is there?" It makes me sad and angry that it is as hard as it is. Sometimes it feels like everything is telling me no, but then sometimes a small yes slips through. I think I've pretty much filmed the same thing for like 3 days straight. Me like waking up, maybe doing a bit of work, reading on the sofa, reading in bed, reading outside, and then like going to bed. I have had a really difficult week recovering from this flare up. It's definitely been the worst fatigue flare I've ever had, and I felt the most unwell that I have in a while. Yeah, it's been pretty difficult. So I think, yeah, I've just, the last couple of days, the stuff that you've seen in this vlog, this is how I've been recovering, like just going very, very slowly. I've been journaling quite a bit, and just, yeah, generally feeling a lot of stuff about how I'm feeling. But this morning I went for brunch, but actually breakfast. The only time we could get a seat was we could get a table was 10 o'clock in the morning. So me and Amelia went for breakfast. I'll leave her handle here because I really love her Bookstagram. Yeah, we went for breakfast, which was so nice, and I haven't really done anything this whole last week. And last night I went to bed really early and I was like, I really want to go. And then this morning I woke up feeling a little bit unwell again, like my throat is a bit sore again. And I woke up and I was kind of sniffling, and Ben was like, are you okay? Is it too late to cancel? I was like, I think it is too late to cancel. And I was like, but more than anything, I really want to go. I really want to go. I really like spending time with her and I really want to go. I just feel like I need to do something and I need some interaction, and I just need to feel a little bit normal, even though I like definitely don't feel normal. I got up and I like cut out some spoons, so I like it's stuff like this that I find really difficult. Like I didn't have a shower. Normally I do try and have a shower every day, but I was like, nah, if I'm going to leave the house today, then I don't think I can shower and I don't think I can really put makeup on. So those are the little decisions that you have to make, and like the little cutting corners, and it feels so insignificant. But that's really what I mean when I say that at the moment, like everything counts. Everything I do counts towards how I'm going to feel the next day, the next week. I have to be so intentional about everything that I choose to do with my time. And it's really difficult because that in itself takes energy to think about that all the time. So yeah, anyway, but I did manage to go, and we actually had the best time. It was so nice to see her, so nice to just like chat books. And I do feel like making friendships as an adult is, making new friends as an adult is really difficult. But we were talking about how much we love this, like our community on Bookstagram, and like it's so silly how just a silly little Instagram account can mean to you, but it really does mean a lot to me. So that was really lovely. It means a lot when friends make every effort to understand, and then and not just like cognitively understand it, but then actually their actions reflect that they get it too, even though they're not going through the same thing as you necessarily. So yeah, that always means a lot. So yeah, that was my little activity of the weekend, and now I'm home. Ben is out with his friends who are staying this weekend, so I've got the flat to myself. So I'm just resting. I've got my hot water bottle and I've got my book. Currently reading Vehicle by mccully. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure. Which is really good. I haven't read something like this in a long while, and I feel like in the past books like this would have gone kind of straight over my head. And it still is a little bit, but I'm working really hard to like get as much out of it as possible. It's like a political dystopian speculative fiction. It's a really interesting format and a really interesting subject matter, but it definitely requires a bit of piecing together by the reader, which I am enjoying, but it does take a little bit more brain power. So I'm also gonna pick something else up, a bit of a lighter read to read kind of in between. And I also finished The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, which was just magnificent. Like one of the best books I've read in a really long time. Definitely in my top books of this year so far. I know I'm not saying anything new by saying that. I know that pretty much everyone who's read it has loved it. But yeah, it really like exceeded all expectations for me. I kind of went into it expecting it to be amazing, because it's just one of those books that like takes your breath away, and people talk about it as such, but I just feel like you don't know until you've read it how much is in there, and how much of a true work of art the book is, and like it's a real beautiful read. So yeah, I really loved that, and that's definitely taking me a little while to get over, you know, when you just read those books that like really make an impact on you, and it's difficult to move on because the characters just keep, you know, living on in your brain, and like you keep thinking about it, and bits keep coming back to you, and like I almost just would have loved to just keep reading it, but yeah. Anyway, hello. So it's been a little while since that first clip, even though it doesn't look like it. I'm still sat on the same sofa where I've been for the last 3 weeks. I've just been editing through all of my footage from the last couple of weeks. I obviously haven't really been vlogging. It's been a really awful few weeks. I'm in the middle of something pretty difficult. You'll have obviously seen the entire video up to this point, and you've essentially watched me crash in real time. I thought I would just give a little bit of context before kind of going into the next segment of the vlog, which is kind of me now. About a week and a half ago, I was signed off work. I just kind of wasn't really getting any better. I kind of was working one day, then not being able to work the next day, then working from bed and the sofa the next day, and like always having to log off early, always trying and pushing through, and then not being able to like deliver. So it kind of got to the point where I knew in my heart of hearts that there was no way that I could recover and keep working. Those two things just weren't compatible in any way. I feel so grateful for the work setup that I have, because it's so flexible and there's so much in place for people. I'm off work. I was supposed to be going back on Monday, but I have a feeling that I won't be able to. I'm supposed to be going on holiday in a week. I think I'll be able to, but I feel very worried about how it's going to impact me and how I will feel when I come home. Everything feels very uncertain, and it feels very uncertain and hard right now. Just being very honest. But I'm trying to just take it one day at a time and not think too much about what this means. I'm still not well. I'm still navigating this crash. It's really hard. I've cried a lot, but Ben and my friends have been incredible. I have like been writing quite a lot, and I thought that I can share maybe some of the stuff that I've written instead of like talking like this. I have still been filming stuff, like not speaking but filming parts of my days when I can, because my best friend Shannon said to me the other day that she thinks it would be really important if I can to share like more of the reality of what this looks like. So I'm going to try and do that with what I've got from the last few weeks of like being pretty much housebound. The couple of times you've seen me leave my house, that's all I've done. That's all I've been able to do, but I'm going to let the rest of the video kind of speak for itself. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. The 2nd of August is my first proper day not being at work. Part of me feels like I can't believe I'm still here. It was 2.5 years ago that I first took prolonged sick leave, and here we still are. But I do feel a huge weight lifted off my shoulders knowing that I don't have to worry about it for a little bit. I feel so hyper aware of everything in my body. The frozen block of pain that is my pelvis, my restless legs that are both desperate to move but almost feel trapped by exhaustion, the dread that comes over me whenever I have to get up and do something, my foggy, exhausted brain that can't keep up with itself, the anxiety that I'm lazy and boring and pretending, fighting the deep-rooted knowledge that this is so real, because why would anyone choose this? 9th of August. Thoughts while travelling to my doctor's appointment. It feels like this flare has stolen things from me that others hadn't before. Seemingly insignificant things that I took for granted, maybe even things I felt entitled to because of how little else there is for me to take pleasure in. Fundamental parts of my routine, things that help me feel human. Maybe they even make me feel more worthy of what, I'm not sure. Having the energy to shower every day, to moisturise my body, being able to leave the house just a couple of times a week to run errands or go for appointments or see friends when they can't come all the way to me. To feel time passing with fun things, birthdays, plans with friends, instead of getting to the end of the week with nothing to show for it but an empty pillbox. To not have to muster the strength to hold up a physical book. To be able to enjoy the bright colours that fill the flat without feeling exhausted by how they hurt my eyes. To be able to lie in the sun without feeling like I'm dying. I swear I'm not asking for much. Of August. It's difficult watching all of that footage back from a few weeks ago when this flare-up started, watching myself say that I think it's getting better and thinking that a mildly busy weekend will be enough for me to recover. It's hard to let go of the guilt. In hindsight, I can see it was all too much. I did too much. I didn't start resting properly soon enough. I shouldn't have tried to work that first week. I should have started to slow right down before it felt too late and my body was on her knees. I keep thinking about The Places I've Taken My Body by mccully Brown, where she talks about coaxing her body into doing just that little bit more. Sometimes her body is open to the negotiation. It has a tiny bit more left in the tank. In her essay, The Skin You're In, she writes, "I do everything I can to keep my body quiet. Tell it to hush, please behave, we're lucky to be here." Then at the end she tells her body, "Okay, you can get loud again. I'll listen. I'll be gentle." It's hard not to feel like I listened too late. Leaving the house, the second day in a row. I can't afford to get Ubers everywhere now, which is what I have been doing when it's there and back a couple of times a week. It kind of becomes unsustainable. I am going to try getting public transport for the first time since this crash. We'll see. Wish me luck.